$30,000. That's what my Fidelity portfolio is worth currently. Well, it's actually technically a couple hundred below that, as you can see on the screen right now, but the portfolio goes up, goes down by the day, but generally speaking, it currently trades at about $30,000, which is right about what I started with. And in today's video, since there's been so many changes since I posted my last update in the last 2 weeks, I wanted to show all my positions one by one in the portfolio in order from largest to smallest and go over my strategies moving forward, what I think this portfolio will look like in the future, and what my plans are just in general. So if you guys like this type of content, if you like in my stock market investing strategy, if you want to learn from me, feel free to subscribe and watch my other videos. So thank you guys for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get started with my number one position, and that is Corsair Gaming. Corsair Gaming has an absolutely incredible future ahead of it, and I don't think it's going to be stopping anytime soon. Now, Corsair Gaming currently trades at about $27 a share, and that puts it at a market cap of $2.5 billion. And I bought this company at $26.86 a share, and so it's right about where I bought it at. Like I said, I only moved this over to the Fidelity portfolio about a month or so ago, and so I bought it at $26.86. It currently trades at $27, and so it's right about break even, just a tiny slight profit, and I own 500 shares of this company. And so if you take 500 times $26.76, I invested about $13,500 into the stock. Now, I am selling covered calls against my position, just like with all of these, and I'm generating monthly options income. And based off the numbers that I typically run, this should be generating anywhere from about $100 to $150 a month just to hold the stock from options income if I hit my 1% monthly target. Now, Corsair Gaming has an awesome future ahead of it. It currently does almost the exact same amount of revenue next year that it currently has its current market cap at. It is going to do over $2 billion in revenue next year. The profitability is massive, currently expected to do 1.8 in earnings per share next year, and this puts it at a forward PE that is just absolutely ridiculous. Far below the average in the market. Corsair Gaming is in a growing industry. It's primarily invested in gaming and streaming. The gaming industry is growing, the streaming industry is growing, and once again, I mean, I just think that it's not going to stop growing anytime soon, and the valuation is so cheap that I just have to own some of this company. I think that it's, in my opinion, the best opportunity in the stock market. There's lots of other stocks, like for example, one we'll talk in a minute, CleanSpark, that has way bigger upside opportunity than a Corsair Gaming, but the risk is 5 times higher, maybe 10 times higher than that of Corsair Gaming. But with Corsair Gaming, the risk is so low. CRSR stock has such a low risk that I think about 5 years out, what is the opportunity? What are the chances that I lose money in the stock? And it's almost zero. So Corsair Gaming is my largest position for that reason. It's going to generate some nice options income, and also I own one call option against the stock as a buy, and so I spent about $1,000 on that, and I'll go ahead and show that on the screen right now too. And that's at a $20 strike, and that expires January 2023. I don't know if I'll hold on to this or not, but I just bought it when the stock was trading at $25 a share, and so I thought I had to pick up one. But let's go ahead and move over to my second largest position, and that is iRobot stock, IRBT stock. This company is an incredible growth company that I think a lot of people are ignoring. Now, I won't go over this one too long because my last video was dedicated completely to this company, but in case you missed it, go ahead and check it out. But if you're not going to check it out, let me give you a summary of what that video was about. Basically, this company is currently transitioning its old school hardware company to a new age recurring subscription revenue business. Now, actually, by the way, I accidentally mentioned that video last time that it was $25 a month. I meant to say $29 a month. And so basically what they're doing is they're offering an iRobot Select service. And so customers will pay $29 a month, and they'll get a free iRobot vacuum to clean their home every single day, and then they also get free upgrades every 3 years, and they also get unlimited free repairs for the iRobot, anything like that. And then they also can cross-sell into things like their mopping and their handheld accessories. And then also the second thing that I talked about with this company that's a little bit of a wild card is that they also sell coding products. These coding robots are specifically designed for classrooms. Now, it may be elementary schools, it may be high schools, it may be universities, because they have lower and more advanced level products. But generally speaking, I think that these could be used to educate children and even teens and maybe even adults on learning how to code. Now, that's kind of a wild card. There's no really significant revenue right now for that part of the company, but it could be something big. If it were to take off, it could double or triple the size of this company if it were to take off in a big way. Now, currently iRobot stock trades at about $82 a share. Now, I bought the stock at $80 even. I set a limit order to buy at 80, and so I own 100 shares at $80 each. So I invested exactly $8,000 into the company. I immediately sold a covered call due in November, and that's 3 months away, and so I generated almost exactly 3%, and I already made 3% just holding the stock for the next 3 months. Now, that strike is at $100 a share. If I lose those 100 shares, I will be upset, but it's not the end of the world. I'll take my $2,000 in profit plus my covered call income. But regardless, iRobot is one that I'm definitely bullish on, and it has a fantastic balance sheet with no debt and over $415 million of cash on the balance sheet. And that number is expected to go up as they buy back stock incredibly fast, and they also continue to produce lots of net income as well. But iRobot is my second largest position, and let's go ahead and get into the third largest position. The third largest position, and it is having a rough day today. Tattooed Chef, ticker symbol TTCF, finished down 5.1% down today, and it currently finished out the day at $19.34. And this stock has been a roller coaster ride since transitioning over to Fidelity. I have an average share price of $20.14, and it's been from the mid-20s down to $15 a share, and now it's back up to, yesterday it was at 20 and now it's back down to 19. It's been an absolute roller coaster since moving thing over to Fidelity. But basically, Tattooed Chef, I've made I think 2 dedicated videos since starting my new channel. But I think that Tattooed Chef has a great opportunity ahead of it. It's taking advantage of a growing industry, which is veganism, gluten-free, vegetarian, all these type of movements that are happening in people's dietary restrictions that are making people want to eat healthier and healthier. And Tattooed Chef is a perfect example of that. And of those products that we just bought, I believe they sold anywhere from $3.50 to about $4 each, which is incredibly cheap. And so the thing that's so cool about Tattooed Chef is that they have such a large total addressable market, a TAM opportunity, because they're so cheap. Almost anybody in America can afford it. We actually have some Tattooed Chef products in our freezer right now, and from Walmart, those usually sell at about $3.50, $4 each. That is a cheap lunch or a cheap dinner. If pretty much anybody can afford their products. It's not for the super wealthy or for an exclusive group. Pretty much anyone can afford it. So that's number one. And then the second thing is that not only that, but people are typically eating healthier. People care about where their food's coming from, the companies that serve it. And Tattooed Chef is a perfect company as an example that cares about its customers. It worries about where its products come from, and it's not just some boring food stock. This company is growing at incredibly fast levels. And so Tattooed Chef has a little bit more risk than say something like a Corsair Gaming, but it is growing incredibly fast. Tattooed Chef is going to grow revenues about 60% this year, about 30+% next year, and maybe even 25+% the year after that. Profitability is already starting to come in for this company, especially starting next year and going into 2023. And so they have loads of cash. Oh yeah, just like iRobot, by the way. This is a company that has a fantastic balance sheet. $100+ million on the balance sheet with, you guessed it, no debt whatsoever. An incredibly healthy balance sheet, lots of rooms to grow, don't have to worry about diluting shareholder value at all, and I think that Tattooed Chef has a lot of opportunity with all the great deals that they've got in the past year or so. And then last but not least, we have the fourth position, and this makes up about 5,000 or so of my portfolio, and that is CleanSpark. I think I mentioned before, if you haven't checked out Rex Finance, I'll try to put up his YouTube channel on the page right now. But Rex Finance is, his whole channel is basically dedicated towards this company, and it's by far and away his largest position. He breaks it down in depth many times and even has interviews with the CEO, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But CleanSpark, basically they are split up into 2 different categories. They're split up into Bitcoin mining, and they're split into producing microgrids. You know how you have the power grid, which supplies power to hundreds, thousands, sometimes even millions of people across the state or states of the country? This is a microgrid company that produces smaller versions of the power grid. And so sometimes these power grids will just control one home or just a small community or a dozen or 2 homes. And this is an opportunity to take advantage of the rolling blackouts in places like California. And this is a market that is not really too established yet. And so there's pros and cons to that. The bad news is, well, the market is almost non-existent. The good news is that CleanSpark has virtually no competitors and can set whatever pricing and whatever demands that they want. And so any customers that they do get, which they have millions of dollars worth of backlog, they pretty much operate at their own terms. But Bitcoin mining sector is very profitable for them as well, and they're one of the only companies in the world that is on track to do carbon-free emissions in mining Bitcoin. So a complete wild card there. The IVs, the premiums on selling options for this company is fantastic. I have both calls and puts sold against this company, and so it's going to generate nice income. And so, you know me, I usually have a target of generating 1% a month worth of the shares that I own in my portfolio. With CleanSpark, it's not even a contest. I have $30 calls sold against it and $10 puts sold against it, and those are generating usually somewhere, like, I'm not even kidding, sometimes 3, 4, even 5% a month, depending on the calls and the time that I sold them. So very high. And so to reiterate and to summarize, we have number one, my largest position, which is Corsair Gaming, which is 500 shares at $26.86. We have we have iRobot stock, my second position, which is 100 shares at $80 each, so $8,000 invested. And then third, we had Tattooed Chef, which is 300 shares at $20.14 each, so about $6,000 invested into the company. And then last but not least, we have my fourth position, which is CleanSpark, which is 400 shares at $13.25, about $5,000 invested into the company. And those are the 4 stocks that I own currently. I'll let you guys know of any updates that I'll be making. But thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe down below if you haven't done already. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.